Hello and welcome to Arduino Days 2026. This year we are celebrating 21 years of Arduino and we are super excited to have a lot of community around the globe arranging their own Arduino Days. We have hundreds of groups around the world that are arranging interesting gathering of people talking about our technology, the microcontroller-based technology, but also with the innovation we released last year. With the Uno Q, we are talking about more sophisticated projects with microcontroller and microprocessor in the Uno Q. Arduino is very, very committed to open source. As you have seen also with Uno Q, we released everything as open source. Just a couple of weeks ago, we released the VENTUNO Q, that is the most powerful product that Arduino ever built, quite sophisticated, combining the dual brain architecture microcontroller with a super powerful SoC with 40 TOPS of AI. And we are very excited to see what the community is going to build once the product will be available at the end of Q2 this year. But for this event, we will have a pretty packed agenda. A lot of speakers. You will hear from our people, from Arduino people, R&D, product management, future roadmap, etc. But more importantly, by our community of makers, educators, and partners that are really pushing Arduino to its limits. So this is very, very exciting. And only one recommendation, please interact with us because it's important to gather your feedback, your input, so that we can make a better Arduino. And again, thank you very much for joining us and staying with us for this exciting couple of days.
Welcome to Arduino Days 2026, a global celebration of Arduino's open source community. This is Arduino's 14th year celebrating with more than 2 million viewers, over 60 sessions, and more than 300 community events worldwide. A little about me. I am also a developer at heart and an engineer by training, having spent my early years building products before taking on business responsibilities. I try to tinker even today with new products that I can get my hands on. It has been an exciting journey since Arduino joined the Qualcomm family in October 25. We've made rapid progress across hardware, software, and open source projects. We launched the Uno Q, the new flagship board on Qualcomm Dragonwing QRB2210 with more than 251,000 units sold in just 4 months. We just announced the VENTUNO Q, a 40 TOPS Arduino board powered by the Dragonwing IQ8275 running Ubuntu and Debian Linux for physical and edge AI applications. This will run every model type with advanced camera, multimedia, and graphics pipelines. VENTUNO Q will be available worldwide in the coming months. Arduino continues its long tradition of building and sharing with the world's greatest open source community as promised, including 11 new libraries, more than 1,200 contributed, Zephyr OS support with 74 patches, Arduino App Lab, and the App CLI, and more than 6,000 projects on the Arduino Project Hub. We couldn't be prouder to serve Arduino's 33 million active developers, from STEM to builders, prototype to production journeys, and now powered by AI and made for robotics, IoT, and edge intelligence. Qualcomm's commitment to Arduino and open source is unwavering. We are investing long-term in open source platforms, the global community, and affordable, accessible products.
Hi everyone and welcome to Arduino Days 2026. We are so happy to be back for our yearly global community celebration, and we're live from Torino, Italy. I'm Stefano and this is Aurora from the Arduino marketing team.
Yes, I'm really excited to be back, and we've got so many cool things packed in these 2 days of amazing talks. There's a lot to see, so let's get started. Actually, first of all, the elephant in the room. We just announced something revolutionary, haven't we?
Absolutely. Just 2 weeks ago, we announced the future of physical AI, Arduino VENTUNO Q. I had the pleasure to be at Embedded World, the famous exhibition in Germany, and had so many engaging conversations about this product.
By the way, VENTUNO means 21 in Italian, doesn't it?
That's correct.
Okay, and That means Arduino is 21 this year, so what a coincidence. It's very cool that the VENTUNO Q is marking Arduino's coming of age as a powerhouse for edge AI and robotics. There's something that the Uno Q and the VENTUNO Q have in common, don't they?
Yes, so they both feature this dual brain architecture which combines a microprocessor and a microcontroller which can talk with each other in real time. Arduino VENTUNO Q has been engineered for machines that must move as fast as they think. So over the next talks, you will hear from our product and R&D teammates who will give you a good overview of VENTUNO Q.
But first, let's check out the VENTUNO Q launch video.
Hello folks, I'm Marcello Maionchi, Chief Product Officer here at Arduino. This year, Arduino turns 21, and we couldn't be more excited to take this opportunity to introduce to you the latest and greatest product that we have released, which is the Arduino VENTUNO Q. As a matter of fact, Arduino VENTUNO Q is the most capable Arduino ever built, and it's really bringing the Arduino philosophy into the AI era. You see, AI is everywhere. However, it's still way too difficult for people to build with AI. And this is the concept at the base of VENTUNO Q, whose mission is democratizing AI and making sure that everybody with the right idea and with the right creativity and commitment can take the latest technologies and being able to build AI-infused applications easier than ever before. And it's not only about AI. Arduino VENTUNO Q brings together the physical world and the artificial intelligence world. We call it dual brain architecture, with one side of the board that is dedicated to high-level computation, neural processing, and being able to run any type of models from computer vision's language models. And on the other side, you have the traditional Arduino real-time world with a very powerful industry-oriented microcontroller that is capable to really run real-time workloads faster and more reliable than ever. The combination of these two plus App Lab, which is the developer environment that we already introduced with UnoQ, is what really makes all this good stuff available to everybody to unleash their creativity and build anything from robotics applications to smart home and smart industry solutions faster and simpler than ever before. You will see a ton of content during Arduino Day related to VENTUNO Q, a lot of deep dives, application examples, and tutorials. We couldn't be excited to get your hands on the board just in a few weeks when we'll be shipping the board, and can't wait to see what you guys will come up with and invent and create with this new product, the Arduino VENTUNO Q. Happy Arduino Days, really glad that you guys are with us today, and I'll see you soon.
Hello everyone, I'm Marta Barbero, Lead Product Manager here at Arduino. Happy Arduino Day! So it's great to be here celebrating with a community that has been building, experimenting and pushing a lot the boundaries for more than 2 decades. Today I'm holding in my hands something that represents a big moment in our 21-year story. A board that doesn't just let you try AI, but actually helps you building with AI. And this is Arduino VENTUNO Q. As you know, Arduino turns 21 this year, 21 in Italian. And just like anyone turning 21, we are entering a new phase. more capable, more confident, and ready for bigger challenges. So we started this new era with Uno Q, and VENTUNO Q takes the next big step forward. On the outside, this looks like a really compact board, but inside it's the most intelligent Arduino we have ever built. At the center is the Qualcomm QCS 8275, which is part of the Dragonwing family, and it's capable of up to 40 desktops of on-device AI performance. So it includes a powerful CPU cluster, an Adreno GPU, and the Hexagon Terson processor, so in the end a neural processor that is able to handle vision model, audio models, multimodal reasoning, and even local LLMs. And right next to it, we have the STM32H5 microcontroller, which focuses on what microcontrollers do best. So real-time, deterministic control for motors, sensors, and anything that needs timing you can trust. We call this dual brain architecture because one brain handles the high-level intelligence and the other brain handles fast, precise reactions as any Arduino board. And they work together without you needing to glue anything manually, because you don't just need AI to think, you also need devices that are able to act. So, on the Linux side, the board supports both Ubuntu and Debian operating system. So you can choose between a big ecosystem with predictable LTS releases or an upstream aligned environment with tighter footprint for embedded work. While on the microcontroller side, you still have the familiar Arduino experience, so sketches running on an Arduino core over Zephyr operating system. And the communication between the two parts happens through a built-in RPC layer called Arduino Bridge. So your AI code and your control code behave like one single system. Now, since this is Arduino Day and I know you love details, let me run through the I/O. So VENTUNO Q gives you 3 MIPI CSI camera ports for multi-camera vision, MIPI DSI, HDMI, we get USB Type 3, we get USB-C with video output capabilities, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, and Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.3 in this module over here. But most importantly, we get 16 GB of RAM and 64 GB of eMMC, plus extendable storage via the NVMe module here. We can also support CAN-FD, that is important for robotics and industrial environments. And on top of that, we can plug in any accessory that you like. So we get the compatibility with the Uno shields over here. We get the compatibility with the Arduino Modulino, so quick modules that can be plugged over here with the sensors and actuators capability. And also, I'm spoiling something new, which is actually the compatibility with the coming Uno Q carrier boards, expanding even more the capabilities of the product with the high-speed signals. And last but not least, we also included the standard hat connector, so you can plug any hat that you like on this device. On the AI side, which is something everybody is really interested in, VENTUNO Q is designed to run really everything locally. So LLMs, VLM, object detection or tracking, classification, gesture recognition, pose estimation, all the audio stuff also, so speech to text and text to speech, and of course, all of them are running with really high performance. But not only that, you can also train your own models if you like, using a GenePulse platform. So that's super easy. Or you can access a wide library of models that are exclusively trained for this processor on the Qualcomm AI Hub platform. Now, all this performance wouldn't mean much without a simple way to use it, of course. So that's why we created Arduino App Lab. App Lab gives you one unified workspace where Arduino sketches, Python scripts, and AI models all live together. So you can drag and drop what we call bricks for common functions, start from ready-to-run example, or dive deeper with full control using App CLI. Everything can run directly on your VENTUNO Q, or you can just plug your VENTUNO Q on your PC with the same interface and experience. And it even handles OS updates, accessory setup, so you don't have to waste time fixing things before you can actually start building things. But what does this enable in practice? So let's think about a robot that runs perception on Linux, while the STM32 drives motors with microsecond precision. a fully offline voice assistant that reacts instantly without cloud latency and protects your privacy completely. But also like smart inspections tool that combine AI inference with deterministic triggering, or interactive installation using HDMI, USB sensor, and AI pipelines all on one board. And the best part is that you don't need the 3 different boards wired together in a random way. The compute, the control, all the I/O and the AI acceleration are built into a single platform. So VENTUNO Q is not here to complicate your projects, it's here to give you more room to explore, more capability to experiment, and a really smoother path from prototype to a finished device. So for 21 years, Arduino's always tried to keep advanced technology approachable. And VENTUNO Q brings that philosophy into the AI and robotics world. So I'm really excited to see what this community will create with all these capabilities. And I'm really looking forward to see all your projects. Thanks so much, everybody. Happy Arduino Day again. Hello everyone, so I'm super glad to be here today together with Silvio Navaretti, who is our hardware team lead, but most importantly, the actual designer of VENTUNO Q.
Hello everybody.
So Silvio, let's start from the beginning. Imagine that we would like to power up this board. So how can we do that?
Well, we have a lot of ways to power the board. We have this DC jack, like the one that you have on the Uno, the screw terminal, the USB-C connector, and also the J-Omega connector, the new connector for carriers on the bottom. And from those connectors, especially from the jack, the screw terminal, and J-Omega, you can power the board from 7 to 24 volts with reverse polarity protection, which is important so that you don't destroy the board making mistakes. And also we don't destroy the board testing it, let's say.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. And from the USB-C connector, you can negotiate power delivery so that you can, for example, negotiate 20 volts, 3 amps, and you have a lot of power that you can then distribute on the board itself, because you have a couple of USB-A connectors that can provide up to 1.5 amps, 1.8 amps each. You have the J-hat connector that can provide 5 volts and 3.3 volts to your hats. The Uno connectors that can output 3.3 and 5 volts too. And the carrier connectors, so that you can design a carrier and then plug the VENTUNO Q on top of it, and you can either power the VENTUNO Q from it, or you can use the VENTUNO Q to provide power to your other circuitry on the carrier, for example.
That's amazing. And since you spoke about carrier boards, etc., so which kind of signals do we have available for users that would like to build their own custom carrier solution?
Oh, well, on the bottom we have the Uno Q carrier connectors, so JMedia and JMISC that you know very well. But additionally, we also have this J-Omega connector. On this connector, we are exposing other 2 USB 3.0s, like the ones that you have on the USB-A connectors, but they are exposed here on this connector, plus a couple of CAN, which are connected to the microcontroller, so that you have 1 CAN connected to this screw terminal with a CAN PHI, another 2 CANs without the PHI, so that you can put your own PHI on the carrier, connected on the J-Omega connector here.
Amazing. So you can actually start building some motion control or robotics application.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, great. But everybody loves also IoT and having all their projects connected to wireless connectivity. So in that case, what did we do in order to satisfy this requirement?
Well, we have put on the bottom of the board here a Wi-Fi module, Wi-Fi and BLE module, so that you can use Wi-Fi 6 or BLE to communicate wirelessly with the board. And you can do a lot of stuff with that. The board will have a dual antenna, which will be connected to the module, so that you can play with different bandwidths at the same time.
Yeah, that's great. And if we prefer something wired?
Well, on the board we have an RJ45 connector here, which is going up to 2.5 gigabits, so that you can communicate at a very fast pace.
Wow, great. I really believe that designing this board was really complex, no? So I wanted to understand, like, which was the complex design that we had to implement in order to satisfy all what the product team was asking you to implement.
Well, let's say that, yeah, this board was complex. One particular detail regarding the routing maybe was that we have this connector, the Uno J digital connector here, and this is a through-hole connector. So it is going through the board, and we have some holes here in the middle, this row of holes. And we had to, let's say, pass a lot of very fast traces around them. So here in this zone and in this zone, in these very restricted parts of the boards. That was a little bit complex, even because we were routing things like PCIe Gen 4 going to the M.2 connector for NVMe storage from the processor to it, passing like here, and it was, yeah, let's say complex.
Great. So just tell us, to finish this interview, what do you really like about this solution and why people should actually start playing with it?
Oh, well, what I like the most is the flexibility of this board, because you can really do whatever you want with it. You can power it at several different voltages. You can connect cameras to the flat connectors. You have a lot of flexibility with the carrier connectors here. You have Ethernet, HDMI, USB-A, and then, if you want, you can connect a hat or an Uno shield, or some Modulinos here. You can connect a Bughopper board on JCTL here to debug the board. I mean, you can really do whatever you want, and you have a lot of power on the board itself to do both from a, let's say, signal processing point of view, and also from a analog power point of view, let's say.
Amazing. So thanks so much, Silvio, for explaining all of this to all of us.
Thank you, Marta, and happy Arduino days.
Arduino VENTUNO-Q will be available on the Arduino store, as well as via our network of official distributors, including our S component, DigiKey, Farnell, Mouser, and MacFOS, among many others.
But Stefano, we know about what the board does. Can you give some examples of what applications the VENTUNO-Q can help with?
Well, actually, Aurea can give you way more than just some examples, because the amazing Arduino team has already developed many cool demos based on VENTUNO-Q. Robots, smart mirrors, photo booths, all showcasing cool Edge AI capabilities. Have a look!
Hi, I'm Giovanni from Arduino's R&D, and my major subject here in Arduino is robotics. Now I want to talk to you about VENTUNO-Q and robotic applications. As you can see, VENTUNO-Q has lots of robotics aided peripherals. For example, we have the CAN bus. We can interact with industrial motor controller, for example. And we have USB 3, the HDMI, lots of pins that we can use on the STM32 for real-time control, and the CSI connector for cameras. How we tried to test these power rows? So we built a proof of concept of an industrial AMR in our classical maker hackish way. So as you can see here, we have a mobile platform that allows you to move your stuff, but also has this very little 60 degrees of freedom robotic arm that is all controlled by Arduino VENTUNO-Q. The motors of the mobile platform are connected via some motor drivers from ADI that are connected through the CAN bus of the VENTUNO-Q, and the robotic arm is via serial communication. So, which is the core of this project? We tried to use all the mainstream software and packages of the ROS community, so it is running entirely on ROS2. And we have ROS control to manage the joints, and we have some other SLAM algorithms. SLAM is simultaneous localization and mapping, so it's how the robot understands the surrounding and understanding how to navigate in an environment. The sensors used are RealSense cameras. We have two of them. One is placed on the bottom part, so on the mobile platform, that allow you to have the stereo vision, so you can create 3D maps of the environment. And another one is placed on the end effector of the robotic arm. This other camera is used to understand with the AI where are located some objects that you want to grasp, and also their depth, so you can precisely grasp them. Other interesting points are the HDMI connected, so we can have, for example, a monitor on the robot, so you can have the telemetry in real time, showing without any communication. And this is just for our debugging, because it's every time difficult to do that. The other thing are LEDs. LEDs are connected via microROS to our VENTUNO Q. So we tried also to integrate lots of different technologies inside this proof of concept. With this AMR, I want to just say enjoy the Arduino days and see you next time.
Hey guys, this is Louis from Edge Impulse. I'm here today with a Reachy Mini, the Hugging Face robot, and the latest Arduino VENTUNO Q. This is the brain of the Reachy Mini, powered by the Qualcomm Dragonwing IQ8, and controls all the robot's movements. This project is using an object detection model, trying to detect my face and track me all around. This has been trained with Edge Impulse. I think it's fairly easy to get started. The documentation and the SDK on the Reachy Mini is great. They also provide some skills for you to quickly build applications. The VENTUNO Q, you plug it, you open the App Lab, you can start developing your own projects. And training a model with Edge Impulse is straightforward. You collect some data, you follow the flow, you train models, and at the end, you'll get a model that you can easily deploy on the VENTUNO Q. So I can create a contact with the robot, but it's not only it. For me, it's a great learning tool, how to understand how robots work. On this demo, which is available on Hugging Face Spaces for the Reachy Mini, you can find it on the community app. You can remove some of the parts to actually understand how all the motors work together to move the joints. So yeah, I've been working on a few different applications, some keyword spotting to wake up the robots, some object detection to track the face. You can also track rubber duck keys or different models. The beauty in this demo is how to connect two very cool developer ecosystems. I think Hugging Face has done a great job at providing tools to make it very developer friendly. And well, Arduino, it's an out-of-the-box experience that is great. It's super easy to get started, so feel free to try this project out. Build an application yourself. Thank you, everyone. That was Louis from Edge Impulse, and I wish you a very happy Arduino days.
Today I'm going to show you my favorite demos for the VENTUNO Q. So in this demo you can see there's the camera and it's sending the image about the pose detection of all the nodes of my hands, and then I will show you later. So to understand the gestures that I was moving like in front of the camera. So now let's see the demos. Wow, you see how fast the recognition has. And this is all thanks to the Qualcomm IQ8 chip running on the device. Now let me take a photo. Here's my photo with my gesture recognition. That's so cool.
Hello everyone, I'm Leonardo from Arduino, and today I wanted to present you Smart Mirror, the new mirror developed using the Arduino VENTUNO Q. With this mirror, there is a VENTUNO Q and a camera. They take a picture to you and give you some feedback about what you are wearing. This demo running on the Qualcomm processor, and we are running a VLM23VL 4 billion parameters to recognize with a picture of you what you are wearing and give you some feedback using a TTS text-to-speech program, so the Melo, and to give you feedback. And now I'm going to show you how it works. I'm staying in front of the mirror, and then I press the button. And at the end of the elaboration, the VENTUNO Q give me a feedback. So you're wearing a light gray t-shirt, okay? And try pairing it with a dark pants for a polished look. So this is a feedback. So it's entirely developed using the Arduino VENTUNO Q. Thanks for the attention.
Of course, we're going to talk a lot about this product, but for today, the VENTUNO Q track is over. But before we move on, let me tell you about actually, I wanted to ask you, Ari, how is the interest from the community on our digital channels going so far?
Well, it's been great. Thousands of you have already liked our posts, engaged with them with so many positive comments, and it's only just been 2 weeks. And if you don't want to miss out, don't forget to sign up for updates at the link below and in the chat. So before we move on, do we have any special promos to celebrate Arduino's birthday?
Absolutely. We've got amazing deals for our global community on the Arduino store. You can get up to 25% off many boards and kits. And if you grab an Arduino Uno Q, you can get a free Modulino of your choice.
That's fantastic. Great. Now, the next video features a discussion between the other Stefano Visconti, and Tyler Baker from Foundries.io regarding our ongoing collaboration on open source software and technology. Check it out.
Arduino Uno Q.
When this pumpkin detects my face, it starts moving its eyes.
That's going to be really cool. I think I'm going to be using that in a couple of my own projects.
You can see that on the LED matrix, there is a heart bumping over.
So I can add AI capabilities to my robots.
Here I'm classifying different objects. Check it out.
A piece that can be sound triggered by keyword recognition. So if I talk to my jacket and I say, "Hey Arduino," it connects.
Woo! Is an industrial-ready application, a smart fixture actually, performing quality and presence checks.
There's the quality running.
I want to make a system to be able to check all my tools in and out, just like a library, so I know whether they're here or somewhere else. Hey everybody, happy to be here with you today. I'm Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I do and then about one of my projects. At I Like to Make Stuff, we teach people how to do things, and sometimes that comes in the form of online courses. I teach people how to get started 3D modeling. I also teach people how to get started with Arduino. And then the big thing is every couple of weeks on YouTube I put out a project video where I get to make fun stuff. And it's all sorts of different stuff. One of those things was my tool checkout system using an Arduino Uno Q. So the problem was that I would let my friends and family borrow my tools and kind of forget who had them, and so I wanted a way to keep track of them. To do this, I took a few of my tools and put RFID stickers on the outside of the tool in a place that I could very easily just tap the tool against this reader that is right here. This is an RFID module that's connected to the Arduino Uno Q on the inside of this. So every one of those stickers has a unique code on it that would be read by the reader and then sent to the Arduino. Now the cool thing about the Uno Q is that it can do regular microcontroller stuff, but it also does Linux stuff, which means it's also running a database full of tools. In that database, each row has a few bits of information about a tool. It's got the tool name, it's got some other details about it, and then also a state, whether it's in or out. So when you tap that sticker on the reader, it finds that thing in the database and then flips that bit on the state. So if it's out, it checks it back in, and it's all done. If it's in, it needs to check it out, but then that doesn't really tell me who has the tool. So when it's checking things out, it also takes advantage of a USB webcam, which is mounted right down here and just attached directly to the Arduino. And using that webcam, it takes a picture of the person holding the tool while they're checking it out. Not only that, but it emails me the photo. So I've got a record of who has the tool and when they took it, and I can always go track that person down if I need to. Anyway, I've been building stuff for a long time, and I've used Arduino boards in a lot of the projects to kind of give them a life and make them interactive, and I'm really, really happy that I'm able to do that and teach other people how to do it. If you want to see some more projects, go over and check out my YouTube channel. Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
Hello, happy Arduino days. So I am Stefano Visconti, head of engineering at Arduino. With me I have Tyler Baker, who is the CTO at Foundries and VP of Central Software Engineering at Qualcomm. So Tyler, tell me something about your team. What do you guys do?
Sure, thanks for having me, Stefano. Really excited for Arduino Day. So here at Qualcomm in Foundries, we have a team that works on open source software for the Qualcomm SoCs and the wider ecosystem here. So we've been really focused on pushing our technology upstream and enabling really great things that work across the broad ecosystem of our processors.
Which is great because you guys are a huge contributor to our projects and our latest boards. So thank you for that.
No problem. We are happy to help.
Now tell me more about what's coming up, latest and greatest things that you guys are working on.
Do you want to hear a biggest surprise?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a big surprise for everybody out there in Arduino land. Next week, we will be releasing the patches for an upstream camera driver that will first work on UnoQ and eventually will work on VENTUNO. Excuse me,
yeah.
I'm still working on the name. But it's really exciting because this is going to be one of the only upstream open source camera drivers available for Qualcomm platform, and it is a first, and it will be shipping on the Arduino platform shortly. And this is going to open a whole wide range of developers to work on our camera systems that we've kind of walled off in the past. So really excited to see what the ecosystem is going to do, and then we're going to bring this camera support to all of our SoCs over time. It's going to take us a while, but we're really going to focus on the Arduino platforms first and get that enabled, and I can't wait to see what all the developers are going to do with it.
Essentially, it allows you to use the hardware ISP from a library in Lean?
That's correct, yeah. So on UnoQ, it was a software ISP, which was all done in software. All the processing was done in software. Essentially what we're doing is now we're replacing that implementation with the hardware implementation, and then we'll be using a framework called lib camera and user space. And if your users are familiar with Linux, they've probably heard of lib camera, right? And so this is going to be something that's going to allow the camera to work, in our laptops, on our IoT devices, on our auto platforms with almost no application porting at all, because it's the subsystem that's used in Linux and it's widely deployed. So we're really excited about that.
That is great, guys.
Yes.
That
Can't
is
wait.
Great work. So you mentioned an open source, right? So as you know, for Arduino, open source is part of our DNA. So we released UnoQ as open source hardware, but also we did the App Lab, which is the new development environment, which is fully open source software. So what do you think is the role and meaning and value of open source at Qualcomm?
So I did a presentation this week called Releasing the Dragons. And the way I look at it is we have so much potential in our hardware that we're not releasing because we're guarding these castles. And this is the way that, handset companies had thought about this in the past because it's such a competitive market. But with IoT and what we're trying to do here, it's about usability first over maybe the precise performance use cases that we enable. So really, the idea here is to have this very usable platform and build the software that enables those users to be able to pick it up easily, design something with it, develop something, and go to production with it. And that's where kind of Foundries would step in, right? And be that last mile to get them to production and take a prototype all the way to production and make it easy. Because what we want to do is enable people to build products, amazing things that we've never invented or even thought about on our platforms. And I think open source is a huge part of that. So when we talk about releasing the dragons, it's about open sourcing everything that we can to make the user's journey with our SoCs a really good experience. And so part of what we've been focusing on is the Linux kernel and the distributions. But now we've talked about the camera. Our next kind of endeavor is boot software, right? Because at the base of all of this, right, to enable developers to take chips from Qualcomm and build products, they're going to have to be able to interact with that low-level software, make the changes that they need. And so this is this part where we're going to wake the dragon up, right? And when we have a fully open stack that's going to allow developers to go take our hardware and easily deploy it and make changes, I think we're going to see the ecosystem explode, and Qualcomm's going to be in the center of it.
That's great. So if you are online, check out the open source report that Arduino publishes every year for what we've done the last year. And of course, you guys are mentioned because of your great contribution on the Debian release that we did with UnoQ. So again, thank you for being with us, but also most importantly, thank you for the help of your team in our story for open source.
No problem. We enjoyed it. It was a pleasure working with your team.
As you all know, open source is at the core of Arduino's DNA. Tomorrow, we'll share more insights on Arduino's contributions to the open source community, including the Arduino Open Source Report that we publish every year. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And these past 6 months have been very busy. Back in October, we announced Arduino joining Qualcomm, and we went big with the launch of our new chapter with a huge celebration at MAUTO, the National Automobile Museum here in Turin, inviting many guests, partners, journalists, creators from around the world. But that wasn't the only announcement we had, right?
Indeed. We also delivered our most successful marketing campaign ever, announcing the Arduino Uno Q and Arduino App Lab. Over the next talks, you'll get a feel of what you can do with the Uno Q and in particular, the Arduino App Lab.
Yes, and tomorrow you'll see so many cool projects from the community using this board. And you've already seen a quick sneak peek of some of the many community creations based on the Uno Q.
Absolutely. And then we saw a cool Uno Q project in the previous video by the popular YouTuber Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff, one of my favorite YouTubers.
Moving on, in the last 4 weeks, we've joined forces with our massive new team, including Qualcomm, Edge Impulse, and Foundries. And we've been to so many important exhibitions. One of these was the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Spain. And that's where another popular content creator, Scotty Allen from Strange Parts, stopped by to check the Uno Q in action.
Yeah, it was fun. And another important exhibition, as we mentioned before, is Embedded World in Germany. So in fact, some of the videos that you see today were filmed over there. For those who missed the exhibition, we're showing a quick video recap right now. Also, I had the pleasure of chatting with one of our brand new distribution partners, Codico. As you will hear in the chat, the Arduino and Codico partnership is a testament of the from prototyping to production story. Check it out.
I'm Scotty from Strange Parts, and I'm coming to you from Mobile World Congress here in Barcelona at the Qualcomm Arduino booth. And I wanted to share my story with Arduino because Arduino is really what got me into electronics as an adult. I've always been into electronics ever since I was a little kid, but then I got into software as a young adult, and I kind of circled back to electronics, and Arduino was my on-ramp to that. My first electronics project as an adult was on an Arduino Uno, building my own sous vide machine back when that was hot. I had an Arduino controlling a immersive water heater and an aquarium pump, and I built my own controls with 3 potentiometers and a 7-segment display that I was controlling directly. That was probably 15, 20 years ago now. And to this day, Arduino is still my go-to when I need to do something in the embedded electronics world. It's simple, it's straightforward. I can start with an example that I know works, and then I can get more complicated. So I still reach for a plain old Arduino Uno R3, but I've used all sorts of things, megas, and I've been using the new Arduino Uno Q, which is the first integration with Qualcomm chips with the Dragon Wing. And it's really interesting because it has both Linux running on it, on the Dragon Wing chip, as well as, I believe, an STM32 for the real-time traditional Arduino code with a bridge running in between. And so it's like the best of both worlds. I can do high compute, complex Linux things in, say, Python on the Qualcomm Dragon Wing side, and then I can do more embedded real-time things on the STM32 Arduino side with all the traditional Arduino libraries. I just love how much documentation there is. Everything's open source, and it's the same stuff I've used for 15, 20 years now that I just know will work and will get me up and running quickly. So I wanted to wish Arduino a very happy anniversary, and I'm just thrilled to be part of this community.
Embedded World 2026, I'm Stefano from Arduino, and I'm here at the Codico booth. With me there is Thomas from Codico. Hi Thomas.
Hey Stefano, yep.
So we're very happy to have Codico on our distributor network because they are the perfect example of the from prototyping to production story. Why is that, Thomas?
Well, I mean, we're super excited to be partners now.
Thomas from Codico. Hi Thomas.
Hey Stefano, yep.
So we're very happy to have Codico on our distributor network because they are the perfect example of the from prototyping to production story. Why is that, Thomas?
Well, I mean, we're super excited to be partners now, Stefano. I mean, a significant challenge when you're using complex devices such as the Qualcomm Dragonwing is really getting them up and running, proving the product idea, doing it quickly without a significant amount of time cost, and of course, money cost, right?
Of course.
So the Arduino Uno Q to start with is really excellent. You know, I've played with it myself. In a couple of hours, I had Edge AI applications working. So, I mean, we really see Arduino increasing the total addressable market for the Qualcomm Dragonwing devices, right? So we're really going to help people to build the product ideas based on the Dragonwing product line, right?
Absolutely, and as you enjoyed, glad to hear that, many developers will shorten their time to market, and once they need to go chip down, Codico also provides the Qualcomm chipset as well.
That's correct, right? So we have been working with Qualcomm for over 25 years. We're proud to say that we are the largest Qualcomm distributor in Europe by revenue, and that means we're offering the full portfolio, including the chips that the Arduino solutions are based on.
Absolutely. And by the way, here at Embedded World, Thomas already have an industrial grade solution, an HMI, right? That's running on Arduino Uno Q, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So really excited by the opportunity that Arduino has opened up in a couple of market verticals, right? So the Uno Q, we think, is an ideal platform for industrial panel displays, for POS terminals, and also for educational tablets, right? So to show that, we've built the first CE certified display, which incorporates directly the Uno Q, right? So the Uno Q is embedded in a rugged housing. We've expanded the interfaces from the Uno Q to address interfacing with industrial machines. So we have CAN, we have RS485, RS232, GPIO, and Ethernet, all encased in two models. So this one is the 7-inch touchscreen display, and we also have at your booth, we're showing the 10-inch display, right? So as a complete solution that can be directly incorporated into a customer's factory or warehouse or retail application.
Smart Panel Q Series powered by Arduino Uno Q. This industrial terminal leverages AI edge computing for high-performance HMI, multimedia, and web-based applications. we deliver a complete certified and CRA-compliant Smart Panel Q series. From code to creation, your educational tablet solution. Make every line of code visible and interactive. See your code come to life. Experience the power of instant physical feedback. Reliable industrial HMI for warehouse and logistics. Seamlessly embedded. Visualize complex data instantly. The industrial core, driven by Arduino innovation. Master your logistics with a single touch. Smart retail made simple. From big malls to local shops. It senses you, ready to help. From QR payments to ordering terminals. One device, total control. Smart Retail HMI is always at your service.
Solution that I think many customers across diverse industries are going to be able to leverage.
Absolutely. We're seeing many industrial-grade applications that are based on Arduino Uno Q. It's such a versatile product. And now Arduino Uno Q is already 6 months old.
Wow. I think we need some accessories.
Do you? Well, Arduino Day is a great moment to celebrate our community. And what better way to party than announcing amazing new products? So now, how about we begin with not one, but 7 of them?
You know, everybody loves an accessory.
Hello everyone and happy Arduino Day! I am Francesca Gentile, product manager here at Arduino.
Hello everyone! It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Marta Barbero, lead product manager, and today we are excited to show you the newest addition to the Uno Q ecosystem. This is going to be accessories that transform the board into a complete, powerful, flexible platform.
And these new products will be available very soon, and we can't wait to give you a first look.
Let's start from something really essential: stable power and reliable connectivity. The new Arduino 45-watt USB-C power supply is designed to provide clean, consistent power to the Uno Q, even when you are pushing it really hard, as you should.
And it comes with multi-plug adapters for use worldwide. So whether you are at home, in a lab, or traveling to events, or anywhere you are, your setup is always ready.
And paired it with it, we have the 24-pin USB-C cable, which is high-speed, durable, and can carry power, data, and even video.
So one single reliable connection to keep your desk clean and make every accessory plug and play. Next up, probably the accessory that unlocks the biggest leap in usability is the new Arduino USB hub, 8-in-1.
When you connect it to the Uno Q, it essentially becomes a full single-board computer setup. You get HDMI, Ethernet, USB-A 2.0 and 3.0, SD card reader, and an additional USB-C pass-through port for powering all your projects.
That means monitors, keyboards, webcams, storage devices, wired network, everything you need for a desktop-like experience.
And it's compact, it's tidy, and purpose-built for the Uno Q, so it's perfect for demos, classrooms, desk usage, installation, and of course also professional prototypes. So let's move into multimedia, the new Uno Media Carrier, which brings vision, display output, and flexible audio to the Uno Q with true plug-and-play simplicity. You just need to take your Uno Q and stack your media carrier on the high-speed connectors on the bottom.
It includes 2 MIPI CSI connectors that support standard 22-pin MIPI CSI cameras, even 2 at the same time, so ideal for stereo vision, robotics, AI at the edge, and any creative installation.
And there's also MIPI DSI connector for displays, allowing you to build interactive dashboards, touch interfaces, or even standalone kiosks without custom electronics.
For audio, you also get 3 dedicated 3.5mm jacks. So combo, line out, and earphone out. so you can record, monitor, or output audio with zero hassle.
And because it uses the high-speed JMedia and JSMIC connector with full pass-through, you can stack other carriers on the bottom without losing any functionality.
If you've been waiting to build advanced vision or multimedia applications in UnoQ, this is the carrier you've been waiting for. Now, for everyone who develops, debugs, or tests their projects regularly, we are introducing a very small, tiny, but incredibly powerful tool, Bughopper.
Bughopper gives you a fast, reliable USB to UART bridge designed specifically for UnoQ, connecting through the JCTL port without taking up your main interfaces.
And it provides a stable serial link for debugging, firmware flashing, and continuous logging, which is essential when you need visibility into what your code is doing.
And with its compact size, USB-C connector and clear LEDs showing the different status, it's perfect for benchtop development, field testing, and of course embedded setups.
If you work in firmware, testing, R&D, Bughopper becomes your go-to debugging tool and companion. So for the ones who want full control over every signal, we are introducing Uno Breakout Carrier.
And this board exposes every single line from the JMedia and JSMIC connector to clearly labeled headers. So you're gonna get MIPI DSI, CSI, GPIO, I2C, SPI, UART, PWM, well, a lot of stuff, so really everything.
So it is perfect for hardware debugging, custom circuit integration, or connecting test equipment like oscilloscopes and logic analyzers.
So in R&D labs, classrooms, or of course advanced prototyping projects, it gives you the complete low-level access required for deep hardware work.
And all these accessories will be available very soon, and they are designed to help you build faster, smarter, and with fewer obstacles.
So now the UnoQ ecosystem is actually growing to a complete flexible platform, and we can't wait to see what you will all create with it. Thank you.
And enjoy your Arduino day!
Wow, did you see how cool? So if you want to learn more, go to the Arduino blog, because the team is publishing the post right now.
Great. And you know, we're not actually done with today's new product announcements. And technically, the Arduino Modulino modules can be considered UnoQ accessories as well, since the board features a quick connector. The Modulino family is also expanding, and we're about to introduce the Arduino Modulino LED matrix. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Carlos, Product Manager at Arduino. One of the product families I hope to bring to life in the last couple of years is the Modulino family. Modulino nodes are tiny, function-specific sensors and actuators that you can plug into your project and quickly add functionalities. They connect via QUIC to compatible boards like the UnoQ and the Nano R4, and daisy chain them easily, so you can prototype, learn, and build quickly. Need a button? There is the Modulino buttons. Gives you 3 of them. Or do you want to trigger any action based on the temperature? There is the Modulino Thermo for that. Or maybe do you prefer to hear or feel your feedback? There is the Modulino Buzzer or the Modulino Vibro. There are 11 nodes already out, and today we add number 12 to the family. I would like to introduce you the Modulino LED Matrix. With its 8x12 blue LED matrix, it offers a compact and versatile visual display for your brightest ideas. Use it to show light animations, feedback, notifications, and more. It's one more option to expand your Arduino toolbox. All you have to do is invent, snap them together, and create. Thank you, and happy Arduino Day.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, Application Engineering Lead at Arduino. The Modulino ecosystem is all about ease of use, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to create animations for the Modulino LED matrix. In this demo, I would like to show how you can get a video-based animation onto the Modulino LED matrix. To do so, we need a video file, and then we'll specify a crop rectangle with the desired part of the video that we want to crop out, and then we'll convert the data into a format that can be understood by the Modulino. To get the coordinates of the crop rectangle, I copy one frame of the video and then open it in an image editing tool. And then here I can draw a rectangle which gives me the size of the rectangle and the offset from the top left corner. And once I have that, I can take that information and run a Python script called convertvideo.py, which you can find in the Modulino MicroPython GitHub repository. And then you pass it the video file plus a output path, and you give it the maximum size of the output images and the crop rectangle. And when you run it, it creates a zip file that contains all the frames of that video file from the desired crop rectangle. Now we need to convert these frames into a Python-based byte stream, and to do so, there's another script called convertimages.py, which takes that zip file, and in our case we want to rotate the image by -90 degrees. We specified a target frames per second, which is 25, and then all of that will be stored in a Python file called animation.py. And once we have that, we need to upload that file to our MicroPython based board. So I open Arduino Lab for MicroPython, I connect my Arduino Nano ESP32 that's running MicroPython, and then I take that animation file and upload it. Once it's uploaded, we can use the animation file in the main script. But before that, we need to make sure that we have the Modulino MicroPython package installed. If you haven't done that, you can use the Arduino MicroPython package installer, search for Arduino Modulino, and then click install, which will install the package. Once it's installed, you can then navigate back to the Arduino Lab for MicroPython, and then when you open the editor, you can run your main script. In this case, I prepared already a script that imports the Modulino MicroPython package and imports the animation that we just uploaded. And then it instantiates a Modulino LED matrix object, and it uses the grayscale mode because our animation is in grayscale. And then we'll instantiate an animation object, and we pass it the frames that we imported from the animation file plus the frames per second. And then all that's left to do is to execute the play function on the animation. And if we do that, it launches the animation, and as you can see, it plays the flame animation nicely on the LED matrix. Now that you've got the basics of matrix animation down, I can't wait to see what you create with it. Happy coding!
So snap on the new Arduino Modulino LED matrix to add cool visual feedback and fun light animations to your projects.
Yes, and you thought we were done with our announcements. You've seen the Arduino Bughopper in the previous video. Now we're going to do a deep dive.
And after that, you will hear from Qualcomm's engineering team as they discuss the new open source camera stack for Arduino Qualcomm platforms. The talk explores how integrating libcamera with the UnoQ enables high-performance customizable imaging for embedded applications.
Hello everyone, I'm Martino. Today I'll be showing you a small little buddy that we are presenting today, and will help you creating a lot of incredible content for the UnoQ. I'm talking about Bughopper, this little thing. It's a serial to a USB converter with a bunch of other functions that I'll be showing you in the next couple of minutes. Basically, what happens is that you can connect a Bughopper with a UnoQ very easily. And this is a custom-made connector. We call it J-Control. It's a hacker-friendly connector because it exposes a serial port for the bug and a bunch of other GPIOs with different functions. Some of these functions you might be familiar with are used to trigger USB recovery mode, but they can also be used for other stuff we will introduce in the next couple of months. In case of Bughopper, we can use it to trigger a USB mode from remotely, so you can have the board into a continuous integration system that gets flashed, rebooted, retested seamlessly. And you can also use for many other things. So let's dive into this stuff and let's see what happens when you connect a Bughopper. We have a small little utility that you can use to trigger USB mode. Let's see if it happened. And yeah, you can see here that we are in USB mode. So from this mode, you can recover your board without any trouble. Always keep in mind that you can recover your board anyway, always. Something that we are very happy about this, that don't be afraid to try things and break your board, because it's not broken. It can be reflashed with something sane. And from here, we can, for example, flash a new image or a new operating system. We can go back to normal, and here we are. We can see the very early boot. This is U-boot. And then in this very special UnoQ, we can even boot Arch Linux. And let's see how it goes. There is the very early kernel log messages. You can see everything. You can debug everything. And we're almost there. In other 5 seconds, we'll get to a proper shell. And this is a real hardware shell of the system. And here we go. Ta-da! So thank you for listening, and hope you will create a lot of interesting content, amazing content using this little buddy, and happy hacking.
Hello everyone, my name is Hans de Goede, and we are here today to talk to you about open source camera support for the Arduino Uno Qualcomm platforms like the UnoQ. And I work on the camera support for these platforms, and my colleague Louis Poulain works on the kernel side. And we also have Kieran with us from Ideas on Board, who works on libcamera upstream, and he will start with an introduction about libcamera.
Thanks for letting me join for Arduino Days. Yes, so I'm Kieran, and I am one of the maintainers and the release manager for the libcamera project, which is an open source camera stack for Linux systems. And this is here to help in embedded systems where you may have a camera sensor separate from the system, and you want to connect that to your embedded platform through a MIPI CSI receiver and an ISP. And all of those components need some control and management to make them work together, and that's libcamera's role. MIPI CSI is really good in embedded systems because it helps lower power consumption, reduces part costs, and it gives you a really wide variety and selection of components that you can change to be applicable to your specific use cases for the things you create. libcamera provides a single API, regardless of which camera you connect, so that you get one API model for all of your devices. It provides features like multiple streams, so you might want to get the raw data as well as a viewfinder or a high resolution and a low resolution stream. It's got really good integration already into a wide variety of existing applications. There's an Android layer, there's a V4L2 abstraction layer, There's native components for GStreamer and Pipewire, and there's already a wide variety of applications that are using the libcamera APIs natively. So this can bring out lots of use cases for an embedded system like the Arduino, for if you wanted to make your own home CCTV cameras or a baby monitor that you can control yourself. Maybe you want a camera in the garden with some AI detection to identify what animals are in your garden. I've seen some really interesting projects where people are making really high quality cinema recorders by putting high quality cameras onto the devices. And from the big to the small, there's some really interesting integrations where people can put custom sensors onto their telescope to take photos of the sky, all the way down to microscopes and endoscopes where you can see the small. I can see use cases from industrial and medical, or even automotive. Perhaps you might want to make a car reversing camera for yourself. Now, historically, all of the control around cameras has been really closed and very difficult to integrate. But one of libcamera's real goals is to provide open algorithms, and that's all of the control algorithms for auto exposure and auto gain and auto focus. And all of that is provided as open source. So you have full control to change it and adapt it to your needs. Maybe, for example, if you wanted to change the exposure and the light in a microscope. And that kind of then leads on to, you also need open tuning tools, where if you need to recalibrate things when you might change a camera lens, the glass on the front, you'll need to readjust the camera pipeline and the parameters that go to the ISP. So libcamera also provides all of the open, all of the tools for that process as open source as well. So libcamera really gives you a wide selection of modules and sensors that you can integrate, and so you've really got control over what you're building. We already have a large variety of devices supported upstream, from sensor vendors from Sony, OmniVision, onsemi, ST, Galaxy Core. They're already integrated and supported. There's more on the way. There's AMS Osram coming soon, which is very interesting for European markets. And it means you can have complete control and choose what type of camera you want, whether you want to change the shutter type or have color or black and white sensors or even infrared sensors. The support required is just a v4L2 sub-device driver for the sensor device, and those parts go into the Linux kernel. Now, sometimes we need to make sure that we manage the ISP, and sometimes the ISP's drivers aren't always available. So libcamera also provides a software or GPU accelerated ISP, which means that already for the Arduino ecosystem, everything that's in libcamera is already available and working on the Arduino now. So I'm really excited to see what people make. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Kieran, for your introduction to libcamera. So as I mentioned in the beginning, Qualcomm is working on camera support for Arduino Qualcomm platforms like the UnoQ. My colleague Loïc is working on that on the kernel side, and I'm working mostly on the libcamera side. This is something new. There is not really existing open source support for Qualcomm cameras, other than the software ISP, which is currently offered by libcamera. The problem is, as Kieran also mentioned, that vendor stacks are typically closed source, and the control algorithms and some other stuff like denoising are considered secret sauce by vendors. So it's very hard to get vendors to open source this, and we're slowly working as Qualcomm to get some form of open source support for our Qualcomm hardware. So the initial support for the UnoQ will be based on the camera and an open source mainline kernel driver for capturing raw images, and then libcamera will use the soft ISP to convert those to RGB24 format. This is what will be in the shipping updated UnoQ Debian images from Arduino, which will soon be available for the new camera I/O board. So some performance numbers to give you some idea of what it means to be limited to the CPU or the GPU. With an IMX219 processor, if you use the full 6 megapixel resolution, then with using 3 CPU threads, you get about 15 frames per second, and using GPU acceleration, you're limited to 8 frames per second. If you drop to 1600 by 1200, the numbers become a lot better. CPU gets 48 FPS if you use multiple threads, GPU 22 frames per second. And if you drop even lower, it gets even higher, even above 60 FPS, which surprises me a bit that the sensor driver actually allows that. Downside of going below 1600 by 1200 if you don't use the GPU, but the CPU version of the software ISP, which you will be able to configure, then you will get a cropped image. So a part of the image will be cut off to get the lower resolution. So as I mentioned, Qualcomm is working on supporting open source cameras on Qualcomm hardware, including using the hardware ISP. On the Ageti chip on the UnoQ, this is the OPE, the offline processing engine. Loic is working on the kernel driver for this, an ISP v4L kernel driver, which will hopefully post the first draft version of on the Linux media list soon, or maybe by the time this talk is actually sent out on the Arduino days, it might already be on the list. On the other hand, we also need a lib camera, what lib camera calls a pipeline handler, to go hand in hand with the kernel driver. I am working on that, and I hope to post an initial version of that on the lib camera devel list soon too. So again, talking performance, one of the reasons to use a hardware ISP is performance. So where before we saw that we could get like 15 FPS for the 6 megapixel IMX219, the OPE can do a 10 megapixel stream at 60 FPS. So those are a lot better numbers, and you don't load your CPU, so you get to use your CPU or GPU for other purposes, which is also important. So yeah, that was it from me. And then I'll hand over the talk to Loic, who has a nice demo of what we currently have.
So thank you, Hans. So now time for a small demo. Well, actually the demo is already running, because what you are currently seeing here as my video stream is actually coming straight from a MIPI CSI camera connected to the Arduino UnoQ. So this is a IMX219 sensor, which is connected to the Arduino UnoQ media carrier board and to the UnoQ. And I'm actually running directly on the UnoQ here, as you can see, running Firefox. So that shows that using lib camera, we can be integrated with usual Linux application, like here, Firefox. Here, this is to show you that I'm not lying to you, running on the Arduino UnoQ. And for sure, for more advanced features than just video call, we can use the famous tools JStreamer to create some pipeline and to apply some effects. So here, just a small demo of a JStreamer pipeline with the same stream and different effects, ASCII, edge detection, and normal stream. So this is an ongoing effort. We hope that all that stuff will be merged mainline soon. It's already on the mailing list normally. And more importantly, all that stack is based on open source solutions. So everything is open source here. We have the driver, which leverages the hardware processing engine. We have lib camera, and we have the usual Linux application. So thank you, everyone, and have a good day, I would say.
And we're back, live in Torino. In the next talk, you will learn how our customer Starstream is bridging the gap between the cockpit and the pit wall, leveraging Arduino UnoQ. So check out how this next-generation hardware stack delivers real-time vehicle telemetry and biometrics to empower teams and businesses to operate smarter.
And just after that, we'll have a short video from our distribution partner, DesignSpark, who are announcing a global challenge with the UnoQ, where the community can prove what they can do with the board and win a big cash prize. Find out more info at the link below and in the next video.
At Starstream, our mission has always been to bridge the gap between the cockpit and the pit wall. Our flagship product, the Streambox Pro Kit, was engineered to deliver ultra-low latency video and data in the most punishing environments on Earth. From high-speed circuit racing to off-road endurance challenges. But as the demands of professional racing evolve, video alone is no longer enough. Teams now demand instantaneous granular vehicle telemetry and human biometrics to make split-second strategic decisions while also monitoring the driver and the navigator. To meet this demand, we needed a processing powerhouse that was both rugged and incredibly versatile. That's why we integrated the Arduino Uno Q board as the brain of our next generation onboard telemetry and biometric system. The Uno Q represents a massive leap forward for our hardware stack. Its enhanced processing speed and reliability allow the Telemetry Box Pro Kit to ingest complex CAN bus data, environmental sensor inputs, GPS metrics, and biometrics via human wearable devices simultaneously. By leveraging the Uno Q's high-speed architecture and its onboard machine learning capabilities, we can now pull CAN bus frames in real time, automatically detect and map signal parameters, and translate vehicle data into meaningful telemetry, all without manual configuration. The Uno Q does all the heavy lifting of signal identification, so the users don't have to. What that means in practice is that users now get real-time telemetry, biometrics, and course mappings, and diagnostics through our mobile apps and web dashboards, capabilities that were previously just reserved for Formula One level budgets. Our collaboration with the Arduino team has been a cornerstone of this innovation. Working alongside their engineers allowed us to optimize the Uno Q's footprint and power efficiency, specifically for the rugged terrains of Baja and vibrational and thermal extremes of Daytona, and race cars all over the globe. Arduino's commitment to open source flexibility, combined with their willingness to find the right solution, has enabled us to move from prototype to track-ready deployment faster than we ever thought possible. And what we have proven on track is now ready for the road. This same technology is being adapted for fleet services, auto mechanics, and contractors, anyone who depends on vehicles to run their business. By monitoring vehicle health in real time and capturing actionable data, these users can optimize their workflows, reduce downtime, and even supply data directly to their insurance companies to demonstrate safe operation and lower their costs. With the Uno Q at the heart of Starstream's ecosystem, we aren't just streaming a race. We're giving teams, businesses, and everyday drivers the tools to operate smarter. We are proud to partner with Arduino to empower the next generation of data-driven champions.
Everybody, my name is Connor Dobson and I'm the Technical Marketing Executive at DesignSpark. We're really excited to launch the DesignSpark and Arduino Uno Q Global Challenge, a chance for developers, makers and engineers everywhere to showcase big ideas and bold thinking. So our challenge will invite you to take on one of three themes: AI at the edge, where you can transform everyday objects into intelligent, responsive devices; sustainability through intelligence, so how we use the Uno Q to reduce waste, save energy and support greener living; or human-machine harmony, so how we can create assistive tech for neurodiverse users with calm and supportive feedback system. And entering is really easy. All you have to do is join DesignSpark and it's free. You just pick your theme and submit how your idea would tackle the challenge using the Uno Q. So throughout the 6-week development period, we'll be sharing resources, inspiration, and expert workshops to help shape your thinking and keep the creativity flowing. And yes, there are some great prizes and a chance to have your work showcased across DesignSpark, RS, Arduino, and beyond. So, if you're looking to build something smarter, greener, or more human, join the challenge, and we really can't wait to see what you create.
So we've heard much about the VENTUNO Q and the Uno Q today. And as we've said before, they are both Linux-capable systems and they share the dual-brain architecture. But that's not the only thing they have in common.
That's true, Auri. So running natively on Linux is Arduino App Lab. That's a unified collaborative environment that allows developers to blend Arduino sketches, Python scripts, and AI models into ready-to-deploy applications. So whether you're using Arduino Uno Q or VENTUNO Q in standalone mode, meaning connected to a monitor, or PC connected mode, Arduino App Lab provides a smooth path for both R&D engineers and hobbyists to master the Qualcomm AI stack.
And in fact, the next few talks will take a deep dive into what the App Lab development environment is, the bricks concept, and how easy it is to train and deploy custom AI modules thanks to the seamless integration with Edge Impulse and a cool new feature.
Hey everyone, I'm Julie from the marketing team. We recently dropped the latest Arduino App Lab release, and I'm honestly so excited to show you what we've built. But first, quick intro for anyone new here. Let me tell you what Arduino App Lab actually is. So Arduino App Lab is a new way to build complete applications on Arduino, not just sketches. If you know the traditional Arduino IDE, you know that it's all about sketches, right? You write a sketch, you compile it, and it runs on the microcontroller. But the Arduino App Lab is different. We're talking full applications here. These apps combine Python code running on the microprocessor side with classic Arduino C++ code on the microcontroller side. And then there's this built-in bridge that lets them talk to each other. That is the powerful part about Arduino App Lab. It connects these two worlds and organizes them into a single unified ecosystem. So all you need to worry about is your application and what you build. You don't have to worry about making all the pieces work together. Okay, so now let's talk about what's new. First, you can train your own AI custom model in Edge Impulse Studio, and they just drop right into App Lab. So we build a super smooth guided workflow right from App Lab to help you easily train and deploy your custom models on UnoQ. And actually, you're going to see this in action thanks to Dave from our team. He'll give you a full demo shortly. Also, Louis, who built this amazing rubber duckies detector model. Next, this is a new feature available in Arduino App Lab together with the IoT Cloud Remote. You can turn your smartphone's camera as a secure offline video source for applications running on UnoQ. The video stream is actually captured on the phone and it's consumed locally by the board. No extra hardware, no cloud setup. It's literally the fastest way to prototype a computer vision model on UnoQ. Enrico from our team will walk you through the full demo and show it in action in just a few moments. All right, the last feature is super simple, but it changes everything. Now you can export applications from the UnoQ to your computer as a standard zip file, and you can import them back into the Arduino App Lab. So it's easy if you want to back up your applications or if you want to explore and share with the community. So if you build something cool, please share it on Project Hub so that others can learn and get inspired from you. Stay tuned, the team is going to show you the demos in the next video, and I can't wait to see what you built with UnoQ and Arduino App Lab. Bye!
Hello everybody! As engineering director for software and cloud at Arduino, I ask myself one question every day. How do we make complex technology easy to adapt? VENTUNO Q is the ultimate expression of this goal. It puts 40 TOPS of raw power in your hands, but it's the Arduino soul, our commitment to technology democratization and seamless user experience that transforms that power into a tool for everyone. High performance doesn't have to mean high complexity development. Our mission as software and UX team is to make managing 40 TOPS feel as intuitive and rewarding as your very first digital bride. At the core of this mission are Arduino App Lab and bricks, the modular components we introduced 6 months ago to handle advanced tasks with just a few lines of code. This is why we are now introducing multiple new AI bricks, ranging from large language and vision language models to advanced audio capabilities, starting from automatic speech recognition and speech-to-text and text-to-speech, along with a variety of advanced computer vision models. Running AI at this scale usually involves a nightmare of manual toolchains, complex pre- and post-processing, neural processing unit NPU specific drivers, and the well-known dependency L. But thanks to the massive library of hardware-optimized models on the Qualcomm AI Hub and the modular architecture of App Lab, All of this is now available through simple interfaces exposed by these bricks. You can see what I mean here. In the past, this will take days of setup. Now, with few lines of code, you can initialize an LLM brick running an optimized model on an NPU, and it just works. No Docker files to write, no drivers to install, and no libraries to compile. You can take the most advanced AI available today and focus entirely on your application logic. But since one size doesn't fit all, providing pre-baked AI bricks is only the first part of this story. The seamless integration with Edge Impulse allows you to customize your models by training them on your own data, tailoring them to your specific needs. But we have other talks covering that. Looking toward the horizon, we are already working to provide the flexibility to pull any AI models from the open source world and run it on the edge. This, for example, will allow you to take the latest innovation from Hugging Face and deploy them instantly to your board's NPU. Let's now look at what you can do by combining these bricks. The real advantage of having 16 GB of RAM isn't just the ability to run larger, complex models. It's the power to keep several of them hot and active at the same time. Imagine a device monitoring its environment and acting on specific events. First, we create the perception layer. We start with a vision bricks to detect specific objects or gesture, alongside an ASR brick, automatic speech recognition, listening for spoken requests. Then, we add the reasoning. We take the input from the perception layer and pass it to an LLM brick, which understands the context and the intent behind it. Finally, we move to action. The LLM generates a response. We use a text-to-speech brick for voice feedback, and we call the microcontroller to trigger a physical movement. When looking at the code for a pipeline like this, the simplicity is what stands out. Instead of hundreds of lines of complex orchestration, you see a clean, descriptive flow where different intelligence work together in parallel. The transition from seeing to thinking and acting happens in real time locally on the device. Keeping processing local isn't about more than just speed. It's about privacy and reliability. Your data never has to leave the device to be processed. All the secrets stays between you and your robot. However, being local does not mean being isolated. Integration with Arduino Cloud will allow you to manage this device at scale, program them remotely, and provide over-the-air software updates. The real advantage is the freedom for the user to decide exactly what stays local and what goes to the cloud. App Lab and the Bricks ecosystem are still in their early stages and growing every day. We have focused on building a solid backbone, but the real soul of this project will be our community. Your creativity will transform these platforms into solutions that solve real-world problems. We are on this journey together, and I cannot wait to see what we build next. Thank you, and happy Arduino Days, everybody.
Hello everyone, I'm Christopher from Arduino, and today I'm going to show you how to create custom AI models for your Arduino App Lab projects. By training our own models, we gain precise control over classification parameters and performance metrics, ensuring the system meets the specific requirements of our deployed environment, rather than relying on generic solutions. For this, we will use an Arduino Uno Q, our Linux hybrid single-board computer powered by Qualcomm. We'll add a USB camera to give our Uno Q vision so it can see the fruits. Lastly, we'll use a USB-C dongle with power delivery support to connect the camera and power the whole setup simultaneously with an extra USB cable. On the software side, we will use the Arduino App Lab, our integrated development environment for the Uno Q. For the AI model creation, we will use Edge Studio, the leading web-based platform for building, training, and deploying machine learning models to edge devices. When you include a brick into your app, one for object detection for example, It handles all the complexity under the hood. You don't need to worry about camera drivers, image processing, or machine learning models. It detects the camera connected via USB, uses it as an input device, and simply outputs the inference results. At the same time, and this is awesome to me, it streams the camera live feed to a web interface that you can access from your favorite browser. And there you go. You might be thinking that this takes a lot of coding, but it doesn't. This is all the code we need to accomplish this. We import the brick, configure it in one line, and print its output continuously with a simple dictionary wrapper. This simplicity is all thanks to bricks. Here we define the image input resolution. For this example, we will use 320 by 320 pixels. In the processing block, we select image, since that's the nature of our data. And in the learning block, we select object detection. Click on Save Impulse, and now we can configure both blocks. Let's go to the image section. Here we can select between color or grayscale images, which is useful if color isn't an important factor for your model. We'll leave it in RGB and click on Save Parameters. Then, click on Generate Features. After a short while, you will see a Feature Explorer graph. This gives us early clues on how easily the model will differentiate the fruits, as it's already noticing differences in clustering them together. As a quick tip, if you have a second impulse design, like the one in the public Edge Impulse project I shared in the description, you can select it directly from the App Lab. This makes it incredibly easy to switch back and forth between different model settings and neural network architectures. Now your UnoQ has a custom model for detecting apples and bananas. You can go even further, for example, by making your board's LED matrix to show an icon of the detected fruit. I invite you to follow the guides and the written article I left in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this video.
Hello everyone, I'm Enrico, I'm a staff engineer in the software and cloud team at Arduino. Today I'm presenting a new feature available in Arduino App Lab, together with our Arduino IoT Remote, an app that you should already know for being the official way to use Arduino Cloud on your mobile phone. This feature allows you to use your smartphone's cameras as a secure video source for any custom app or any example that is running on your Arduino UnoQ. The mobile app captures video directly from the phone and generates an encrypted stream that is consumed locally by the UnoQ. The entire process works fully offline. No images are uploaded to any external server, and no cloud services are ever involved. The stream remains inside the local network, and it is protected with an end-to-end encryption. This means that even on an untrusted network, the video cannot be intercepted or altered. From the developer's perspective, integration is minimal. You just need to declare the camera, the peripheral, with the additional parameters that we have added in order to make the streaming secure and encrypted. The rest of the application logic remains unchanged. On the mobile app side, you should navigate to the Devices tab, then press the plus button, then select as a device you want to set up the UnoQ, and then after a screen showing you some instructions, you can start searching for the devices, and then select yours. Then, when prompted for the password, you should put the one that you can find in the mobile object detection example, or the one that you set as a pre-shared key. And tada! The streaming starts. And you can plug this video stream into any AI models developed with the Edge Impulse, enabling real-time object detection, behavior recognition, or any video analysis on the edge. In this example, the mobile object detection one that you can find already present in your UnoQ, we are using a mobile object detection AI model that can detect many objects, like, for example, a book, a bottle, a person, and a potted plant, and you can also switch the camera to use the internal one and detect that you are a person indeed. The key advantage of this feature is flexibility. The video source can be positioned or moved anywhere within the same local network, using a device that is already available and without any additional instrumentation. This capability reduces the barrier to integrating secure mobile video into embedded systems. It simplifies development, preserves security, and keeps everything fully offline. Ciao and happy Arduino days!
Silvia?
We're not done with the App Lab just yet. There's still a lot to show you. But first, let me tell you that I'm super excited about this year's Arduino Days. So many of you are sharing so many questions also in the chat, so keep them coming. Our team is live, connected, and answering you.
I totally agree with you, Auri. I think it's one of the best Arduino days ever. The community is buzzing with more than 340 events organized worldwide. So check out the map published on days.arduino.cc to learn more. So now, Auri, what is next?
So now we're going to learn how you can easily build your own custom bricks in the Arduino App Lab and check out a cool behind the scenes in the video after.
Hi and happy Arduino days to everyone. I am Davide, I am a software developer at Arduino. I am here to show you something that is about to change everything for Arduino apps. Custom bricks. As a reminder, a brick is a software modular component that adds ready-to-use functionality to your project. There are already many available built-in bricks in App Lab, but here the game changer. In the upcoming release of App Lab, you will be able to create your own custom brick. This feature dramatically increases the extensibility of the Arduino apps by allowing you to create, integrate, and reuse your own custom brick in your app. A custom brick can be defined in 3 different flavors. In its simplest version, it is a Python-only code that exposes an API to the main Python program. There is also a setup where, in addition to the Python code, a Docker container is also launched. Finally, there is even a more advanced version where, alongside the Docker container, an AI model is involved. Today, I show you how to create a custom brick with a Docker container. We will create a custom brick called OCR that is capable to extract text from an image using the Tesseract tool running inside the Docker container. We start by copying the detect object on image example. We then create a new custom brick. As you can see, without me doing anything, the subfolders already contains the main files for the brick. It also added the OCR brick inside the list of brick of the app. The brick folder contains 3 main configuration files. The first one is the brick config YAML that informs the application framework of the existence of the brick and to document its basic configuration. The most important parameter is the ID of the brick, which will be used to identify it. We then inform the framework that this brick requires a container by setting the required containers to true. The brick compose.yaml file, on the other hand, follows the same format as the Docker compose file. In fact, it will be launched simply by running Docker compose. Here we add the Docker container that exposes the Tesseract OCR via local HTTP API. Let's thank George, the developer who created this container. Note that the image must be compiled for ARM64 to be compatible with the UnoQ. Now the final part. What is missing is writing the Python code. Here I have simply a class, OCR detection, with a detect method that calls the local server exposed by the container. It passes the image and returns the result of the recognized text. In the application main program, we can now import the module I just created. We also pass the result back to the front end. In addition, we added the assets files to also expose the detected text in the web interface. We need also to modify the app JavaScript. Now we are ready to run the app. The app is running. And now the final result. Open a browser, copy and paste the link of the running example, upload an image, and then a run detection. The result is that the example was able to detect the Arduino Uno Q text written on the box and also the laptop. In conclusion, with custom bricks, you can integrate machine learning models, you can connect to any external database or interact with audio or video devices. Build something once, then reuse it across all your apps. They are coming in few weeks, so stay tuned. Ciao!
Hello everyone and welcome to Arduino Days. Today we are going to look behind the curtain of App Lab. Creating an app, adding bricks, AI models and sketch libraries is easy, but what is actually happening under the hood? Let's start with a fundamental question. What exactly is an Arduino app in this U ecosystem? Traditionally, we think of an Arduino project as just a sketch, a .ino file that gets compiled and flashed to the microcontroller. But an Arduino app is much more than that. It's a composite object. It's a single bundle that contains your high-level Python code, your low-level C++ or Ino code, and assets that you can use for dashboards or web UI. The system configuration and the entire environment is packaged as a one logical unit. The package is described by the app YAML file, where all the high-level dependencies are listed. Now, the App Lab interface is meant to be intuitive and make the discovery easy, from the examples to the advanced features. But this is only a part of the whole story. Behind the front end, there is a background service called the Arduino App CLI, working hand in hand with the familiar Arduino CLI. Because it's driven by a command line, you don't actually need a graphical interface to use it. If you open a shell to your board, like I'm doing right now, you can actually see that we can type the Arduino App CLI command, and then we have all the actions that are available to the App Lab as command line commands. So in this case, for example, I can do an app list command to get the list of all the examples and apps that are on the board, the same way as I could see them on the App Lab. In addition to that, I can start an app with start command, and I can export one by providing the name of the app, this is my example, and the local folder. And what I get? It's a zip file ready to send to anybody. This brings us to bricks, those modular blocks you add to your app for things like object detection, database functionality, or even audio processing. Behind the scenes, the Arduino App CLI manages these bricks as software containers. Why containers? Because installing complex dependencies natively, especially for AI and machine learning, can be an absolute nightmare of conflicting libraries. By containerizing these bricks,
we make advanced AI literally plug and play. The AI model, its Python environment, and all its dependencies are isolated and guaranteed to run smoothly, efficiently on the board. Knowing that your app is a composite object and your bricks are based on containers. What actually happens when you click Run? If I click Run like I'm doing right now, the Arduino App CLI springs into action. It looks at your app, translates it into instructions for container orchestration. Specifically, it uses Docker Compose under the hood. It dynamically generates the Compose configuration, pulls the required containers and Python code, installs any needed Python dependencies in a proper virtual environment, builds and uploads the sketch to the microcontroller, binds the necessary network ports, and finally spins up the entire architecture right there on your board. But here is the final piece of the puzzle. You have a container running Python and you have a microcontroller running a C++ sketch. How do they talk to each other so seamlessly? They communicate using the Arduino router, a service making it possible to call remote functions known as remote procedure calls. The Arduino App CLI makes sure this service runs together with your app. On one side, in this case the sketch, you provide a function using bridge provide and the name of the function and parameters you want to provide. On the other side, the Python code, you simply call bridge call with the name of the function you want to call and any parameter you need to pass. When you have some data or command in your Python script, the RPC library serializes that data in the message pack format, sends it across the internal bridge, and triggers a function call in your sketch code in real time, and vice versa. This robust and modern router service is available to all processes running on the board, allowing two completely different parts of an Arduino app to act as one. Ultimately, the App Lab visual simplicity is made possible by the hidden power of the Arduino App CLI, managing complex dependencies, orchestrating Docker containers, and bridging the gap between high-level AI and low-level hardware. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your Arduino days.
Arduino's boards feature technology from many silicon vendors like Renesas and Expressive in this case.
Yes, so in the next video that you will see, it's about one of our most popular products, Arduino Starter Kit R4. We also had a little discussion with a colleague of mine where we both get started from here, as many other developers. Right after that, our friend Alan from M5 Stack will share his perspective on the amazing Arduino Nesso N1. Enjoy it!
Have you ever wondered how technology around you works? It's time to find out. The Starter Kit R4 is powered by Uno R4, Arduino's iconic board. It includes everything you need to explore the world of technology. Enjoy Arduino Starter Kit at home and in the classroom. Expand your skills by exploring a growing library of projects online. Code and build faster and smarter with Arduino AI Assistant at your side, your new learning companion. Focus your creative energy where it matters. For unique projects that push your capabilities further every day. Because new knowledge opens you up to new real-life opportunities, and you never know where new adventures will lead. All you have to do is start.
I really love this video.
Me too, Ilaria, visual designer at Arduino, and I like it because the video shows the path, right? Not just the destination, as somebody said. And the path, like every cool experience, needs to start somewhere. Personally, my Arduino passion started with the starter kit. But I think the same applies to you, right?
Yes, Stefano. There's a lot of solution out of there to learn about electronics, coding and technology. But I was looking for a simple way, all in one box, and the starter kit R4 was ideal for me. Also, I have some Spanish-speaking friends. Ciao Fabri! Who wanted to share the experience with me. So having the official Arduino product available in many languages was the top. Last but not least, I like to show my achievement thanks to the Arduino certification fundamentals that I included in my portfolio. But you also started from the same place, correct?
Absolutely. Well, it was a while ago, so I used the previous version of the starter kit. But recently, I also tried it with my 12-year-old nephew, who enjoyed the experience. So together we built project number 2, which is the spaceship interface, so a cool looking, futuristic dashboard with some LEDs. And we built it at our own pace. So of course we used the amazing book that is provided within the kit, but we jumped to the device construction because we didn't have time to go through all of the code and explanation. And then he asked me, but uncle, can I keep the book? I was so proud of that question. Yes, you can keep it. And he's now studying it in his own free time to learning, about variables, functions, and some technical details. So compared to my previous experience where I began, now we have the Uno R4. That compared to the previous version, the Uno R3, it's a game changer actually. This is a 32-bit powerhouse that is significantly faster and features onboard connectivity like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which makes the experience a lot cooler, in my opinion. Talking about starter kit projects, which one did you try, Ila?
I'm going to mention one of the extra projects that are available exclusively online, the Heartbeat Monitor. More specifically, I'm the designer who created the animation that user can show on the 12x8 LED matrix on the Uno R4. I really love to visualize data on the board without the need for extra hardware. Also, this project gives me so many ideas for adding future capabilities to my project. Do you agree with this?
Absolutely. So from my previous experience with the starter kit, after that, I started to knowing more the Arduino Cloud Editor, the Gen AI Assistant, and then that created kind of a home automation monster. My house is now filled with devices that everybody in my family can interact with thanks to the Home Assistant dashboard that I placed around the house. Sometimes they destroy it, giving me the chance to rebuild it again with advanced feature. And that is my technology. It's just a beautiful, empowering feeling that I can share with my dear ones and friends. And I think that's just part of the game, right?
For sure. The Arduino DNA involves learning by doing, and I cannot think of a more authentic, fun and engaging way to get started with this amazing ecosystem. I hope so many people out of there will benefit from us sharing our personal experience and will learn how technology works, step by step.
So whatever your path to innovation is, start here.
Happy Arduino Days, bye!
Hello everyone, this is Alan from Softeq. First of all, congrats to Arduino Day and the release of VENTUNO, which would be another region of edge AI devices. Today, I want to introduce you another palm-sized but powerful IoT device, which is Arduino Nesso N1. Nesso N1 is collaborated products between Arduino and Softeq, powered by ESP32C6 and SX1262. It supports for Wi-Fi, BLE, Threads, and LoRa, which means it can camera calls for the application for smart home, industrial control, and remote environments. This N1 consists of one touchscreen programmable buttons, built-in IMU and IR sensors, and the buzzer rechargeable battery inside, which makes it all-in-one IoT development kit. To expand its capability for other sensors, you can connect it with Groove Connector, Quick Connector, which are fully compatible with Arduino Modulino system, as well as Unveiling sensor and head system. For all these hundreds of sensors, which can meet all your requirements for IoT scenarios. Besides for the hardware, you can also program it with Arduino IDE, MicroPython, and UI Flow. Seamlessly connect to Arduino Cloud for remote control and monitoring. It would be an ideally token to bring your idea into life. At last, we want to express our excitement for collaboration with Arduino, as we are sharing the same spirit of open source and innovation. Looking forward to bring more new things to the maker community. Thank you.
Now, we are going to talk about an increasingly popular technical standard for smart home and IoT devices, Matter.
Yeah, and to make it easy for all of you, we recently released a cool bundle that allows you to build smarter and prototype faster. Arduino Nano Matter Discovery Bundle. So hear it from our teammate Pierluigi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pierre. I'm part of the product team here at Arduino. Thank you for joining. Today, I'm quite happy to introduce you to our brand new Arduino Matter Discovery course. Yes, you understand correctly. We publish a complete curriculum created with Matter experts that teach how Matter works, how to deploy a thread network, and how to build connected devices. This is perfect for education, self-learning, rapid prototyping, and also retrofitting legacy devices. You can all access the course through our cloud app to the link below. That's a nice step we take to make all smart home and domotics applications more accessible to the widest community possible. We also prepare hardware bundled to follow the course. This is called the Matter Discovery Bundle. This box brings together open hardware, plug-and-play sensor, and the Matter standard baked by most of the IoT system manufacturers out there. At its heart is the Arduino Nano Matter, based on a Silicon Labs module. It provides thread and Bluetooth connectivity and all the best well-known features from our Arduino Nano family. The bundle also includes the Nano connector carrier with multiple Groove and Quick ports, plus 3 Modulino nodes, Modulino Thermo, Modulino Distance, and Modulino Latch Relay, making it possible to build smart system in minutes. The Arduino Matter Discovery Bundle is already available in our stores, offering an accessible path to master modern smart and home development. Whether you are teaching, learning, or innovating, these bundles gives you everything you need to explore the future of IoT. That's all, folks. This team is evolving so constantly, so please keep following us on this. Thanks to everyone, and have a great Arduino Days.
So now another interesting topic. Zephyr Real-Time Operating System, which is an embedded platform backed by the Linux Foundation with members including major tech companies, 900 plus supported boards, 1,100 unique contributors in 2024, and they are 10-year-old this year, by the way. So Zephyr is one of the fastest growing real-time operating system ecosystem for professional embedded development.
Then, in the next talk, our teammate Luca will tell you why this is important, while Julie and Marta will show you why the Arduino Cloud is ideal to deploy and manage device fleets in a few clicks.
Hello everyone, I'm Luca from the Arduino firmware team. Today we're gonna talk about Zephyr, and here's a brief recap if you've never heard of this before. Zephyr is the operating system we will be using as the backbone of our development going forward. It will replace Mbed, which is going to be made obsolete in July, and it will be used on all 32-bit boards that support it. It will allow Arduino in a lot of new boards, and offers a lot of improvements in drivers and network stacks, for example. So it's a solid solution going forward. Using it in Arduino products may sound straightforward because the core Arduino APIs, the function like digital write, have already been ported to Zephyr 2 years ago, thanks to some great work that was done in a Google Summer of Code. So how complicated can it possibly be? Well, it was complicated. Getting here was not straightforward at all. Let me try to explain, starting from what we expect from our product. Arduino boards have pins with multiple functionalities. The same pin can be used to drive an LED, for example, or to read the temperature sensor as analog value, or it can be used as a serial port to talk to some remote device. You can easily experiment in the sketch by just doing a pin mode or serial begin, and the board will immediately start working as you expect. It's the code in the sketch that drives how the board is used. This is something we take for granted in the Arduino world, but Zephyr is completely different in this regard because it's used by engineers to write code for embedded devices. If you start designing a product, one of the first things you decide is what hardware you need and how it's connected. Zephyr wants you to provide a detailed description of how the hardware looks as the first step in the compilation, because that enables very smart build choices. It will be able to pick the specific software packages and drivers that need to be used, creating extremely optimized applications. Even before your application starts, all the hardware devices and the pins you need are already configured and set up properly by Zephyr. This is great for one specific task, but we don't need that. We want freedom, right? So that's what we had to do to make this work for us, allowed Zephyr to be extended and customized on the fly. We've been working for over a year towards this goal, and there is a lot we have accomplished in this period. For starters, we made it possible to load sketches via a loader. Think of the loader as a mini operating system that stays resident on the chip. By using a loader, we can keep the complex Zephyr kernel, Wi-Fi stacks, and drivers pre-installed on the board. Your sketch then becomes a separate lightweight module that the loader connects to the operating system at runtime dynamically. We've also implemented a more flexible peripheral initialization system. Instead of locking down hardware at boot, the core can now start unconfigured peripherals like I2C, SPI, and UART on demand when your sketch calls wire begin or serial begin, making the system far more similar to traditional Arduino environments. This is now already in use for the Uno Q, and is available for many other 32-bit platforms. It is still being actively worked on though, because we are currently tackling several heavy lifting features to make this core a perfect replacement for the Mbed cores. We will soon have a more sophisticated pin management system. The goal is to allow single pins to be dynamically assigned to the specific peripherals during the execution of the sketch, as it was possible before. We know pin mode is a big issue in the Arduino Uno Q, and we are fixing it. We are also updating to the latest Zephyr to enable long-term stability of the project and improve in several areas memory consumption and partition handling. So we are considering OTA, multi-core support. We are constantly adding new boards. So stay in the loop by following our blog posts, the GitHub project, and feel free to contribute back any issues or bug fixes you could find. Thank you and happy Arduino days!
Happy 21st birthday, Arduino, and welcome to Arduino Days. I'm Julie, I'm from the product marketing team, and I'm hanging out today with Marta, our lead product manager for Arduino Cloud. Ciao, Marta.
Ciao, Julie.
It's amazing how our community has grown over the past 21st years, and from blinking LED to managing industrial fleets for enterprises. And speaking of massive fleets, it's the big topic for today. We know prototyping is fun, but when a company goes from 5 devices to 500 devices, things can get messy, right, Marta?
Well, absolutely. Imagine scrolling through a list of 500 devices just to find the one that went offline in Ohio, for instance.
Well, Arduino Cloud can help solve this problem, and we're going to explain a bit more in detail. But first, Marta, can you explain what Arduino Cloud is?
Arduino Cloud has an all-in-one platform that is able to connect all your devices online. So you can write code in the browser, you can control devices remotely from anywhere in the world, and visualize data on simple dashboards. So it's actually the brain that stands behind your IoT projects.
Great. And today we're announcing a new feature designed specifically for fleet management. And it's called Smart Folders. It sounds simple behind this word, but we know that there's a lot of work and magic behind it. Marta, can you tell us more about this?
If you have to think about Smart Folder, you can think about saved searches that are actually alive. So you can define a rule, like show me all the devices for that specific customer, or show me all the devices that are offline. And Arduino Cloud will automatically group them together for you. It enables multi-tenancy for enterprises.
So let's actually prove it. Let's say I'm a field technician and I'm installing an Uno R4 Wi-Fi based device for a client. Can you walk us through the process from provisioning it to managing it on the cloud?
Sure. So I'm in the field. I don't have my laptop, I just have my phone and Arduino IoT remote app installed. So first I unbox the device and I power it on. I open the app and it finds the device via Bluetooth. Let's hit provision. Done. No cables. That's the mobile provision installed. Now in the app, I apply a template. This template doesn't just load all the code, it tags the device. So let's say that this template is for West Coast logistics. As soon as I hit deploy, the device gets that tag.
So the device is connected from mobile very quickly. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now let's see on the computer what it looks like.
Absolutely. So the dashboard is already completely operational without any work on my side. And because we set up a smart folder for West Coast, the new device is already sitting right here inside it. So it's kind of an instant fleet management. I can see status, software version, and last seen time immediately.
That's amazing. You could basically have one Arduino Cloud account and organize it by 50 different clients using these folders.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really like the first step towards multi-tenancy. So you can organize by customer name, location, project type, type of devices, whatever you need. And you can then start filtering them instantly. So show me everyone running an old firmware, boom, they are in that folder. Or show me offline devices, boom again, that folder. So it gives you a clear picture of your entire operation.
Yeah, and it actually saves you time. And it's one of the comments that we got from many of our enterprise customers. It says really that it saves them time.
Yeah.
Now, for the people watching who are ready to scale up to more devices, we have actually a specific Arduino Cloud plan. And it's the Arduino Cloud for Enterprise. We want you to prototype without limits. So what you get is up to 100 things. You can get 6 months of prototyping time, 1 year of data retention, and unlimited AI assistant, which is amazing for coding. You can also get access to 50 users and over-the-air updates.
It's actually everything you need to build a serious fleet of devices.
Exactly. So with smart folders, you won't lose your mind managing it. Thank you so much for the demo, Marta. And if you want to give it a try, go to Arduino Cloud and contact us directly for the prototyping plan. Ciao, Marta. Thank
Ciao,
you.
Julie. Thank you.
So it's now time for two interesting customer stories. The first one is a unique system integrator based out of Longview, Texas. They will show a cool application combining two industrial-grade products, Arduino Portenta Machine Control and a LoRaWAN gateway, the Arduino Wisgate Edge Pro.
Yeah, and then the other customer story is Softeq. They're going to show you their conveyor belt delivery system. This industrial application leverages the Arduino Opta and the Arduino MKR Wi-Fi 1010 to manage sensors and remote control functionality via Bluetooth.
My name is Donnie McCoy. I am the founder and owner of Tripaga Inc. Back in the early 2000s, I got this wild hair that I would put in a wireless proprietary SCADA system using some wireless technology. So I built out a network with 6 towers. I covered about 600 square miles, and I was providing SCADA system for a lot of water utility districts. I was doing that. It was about that time when I was doing a lot of work in the oil and gas industry as well. We were pulling data into our SCADA system from their production units. And we had our data center, and at that time we had our own servers, and we had our own SCADA system. We were pulling it in and getting the data in and providing reports and information for our customers. In that time, I became very closely associated with ABB. They're a Swiss company. At that time, ABB did not have a system where their total flow would talk to their instruments wirelessly at the wellhead. And so we were charged with the development of that. And so, we were using the Arduino as our development, our prototype boards. And so we developed a whole system around that. And then we just, every time we had something else that we needed to develop, that's where we started using Arduino. But then when we got ready for production, we would build our own boards and we would produce it. I guess it's been a couple of years ago now that Arduino came out, and they were introducing the professional industrial grade boards. And so when that happened, it made my life a lot easier. And so that's now, I've got 3 projects going at the moment, and I'm using the Arduino. The Arduino, they're easy to work with. We were already familiar with how to program them from doing the previous projects, and it's just made our life real easy to use that. Then I wasn't aware of the cloud services that Arduino provides, and so my salesman Rob, he was telling me about it, and so I have one demo that we're getting ready to roll out. We'll be showing it at OTC in Houston in May. The price points on the Arduino make it very good, and so it fits real good with our business and what we do.
That's great. That's great. We're so excited to see your demo, but we want to learn more about what's next for you.
So I have been pursuing a couple of proprietary projects. We're trying to develop some products in-house with our company, with Tripaga, so that when we roll them out, there'll be a proprietary product from us that would also fit into the oil and gas industry, as well as we'd like to enter a couple other industries as well, just to have a little diversification in what we do.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing your story about your partnership with Arduino and kind of what's coming next for Tripaga.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Paul Frua with Softeq Development. I am a senior advisor with the company, and we just celebrated 29 years in existence. Welcome to the Softeq Lab in our Houston headquarters, and I'm here today to talk to you about a project that we took on with the Arduino Opta Pro and the Arduino Maker 1010. So again, let me just kind of run through what we've got from an equipment standpoint. So we've got the conveyor itself, we've got an origin sensor, we've got a destination sensor, these are IR sensors, and then we've got a magnetic door sensor here indicated by this little L bracket in this sensor. And then what you see on the conveyor itself right now is our little package that we're going to be delivering, and then the remote control module that contains the Maker 1010. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and demonstrate that. The actual Arduino Opta Pro is off on the side in another box. We'll get into that in a minute, but let me just show you the functionality of the system. So I'm going to place the package at the beginning of the conveyor, and you'll see that the remote control now shows a ready light, and then we have a forward and a backward button on the remote. So if we push forward, the package goes forward, and it'll stop where it can be picked up. The user can open the door, pick up the package, and if they close the door and there's still something left, like a tray or a cart or something that the package is in, it's automatically returned to the origin. And you see the package is now at the origin, so we're still in a ready state. So again, if I pick this up, we're not ready. If I put this down, we are ready. And then if I open the door, we're not ready. Okay, so these are sort of the main requirements for the functionality of this solution. We didn't want to send a package down the conveyor with the door open, and we only wanted to enable the remote control if there was a package sitting at the origin or the destination. So this is the box that has the Maker 1010 module in it, and it is used primarily for controlling this LED and monitoring the state of these momentary switches and communicating that back to the Opta device via Bluetooth. The way the code was structured and built. So the code is set up to build two binaries, one for the Opta Pro, the other for the Maker 1010. The Opta code, as I mentioned before, manages the sensor inputs and shares the state of the system with the Maker 1010 over BLE. And then the Maker 1010 code manages the system state, the LED light, whether it's green equal ready, and the functionality of the forward and back buttons. The Maker 1010 also communicates the state of the button presses back to the Opta by BLE. As far as libraries, we used just off-the-shelf Arduino libraries. We used the Mbed OS Opta boards library. We used the Arduino BLE library. We used the Arduino Maker library to manage the Maker 1010, and then the Flash IAP for access to processor memory. So the solution works well. The client's very happy with it. We feel like it's been a successful implementation. We've extended it actually to multiple conveyors, as was the original request. And the next thing we're going to do is actually extend it to perpendicular conveyors and some sort of a robotic arm. Last but not least, we love Arduino. They've been great supporting us, and look forward to many future projects. Thank you.
You've just seen Arduino Opta in action. It's a very popular, secure, easy-to-use micro PLC with industrial IoT capabilities. Arduino Opta allows professionals to scale up automation projects while taking advantage of the open and widely known Arduino ecosystem. But Arduino Opta is way more than that. It's also a perfect teaching platform, right?
Yes, and who better than our community and creators to tell us? The first video is going to be Peter Lemaster, an industrial automation engineer and the creator of the Master Tech channel. And he's going to explain how the Opta has allowed him to teach complex automation concepts. After that, we have engineering instructor Zahraa discussing how she utilizes all the versatile and affordable Arduino products, like the Opta, to provide students with hands-on experience in industrial automation, robotics, and programming. Check them out.
Hi, I'm Pete Lemaster, creator of the Lemaster Tech social media channel. I've been an industrial automation and controls engineer for the last 10 years, and I've been making science, engineering, and technology YouTube content for the last 5 years. And in the past 5 years, I've made a huge range of projects, from programming Pac-Man from scratch using Python, to making a Halo ODST helmet with a transparency changing visor, to building 6-axis robot in AGV systems. But despite working professionally as an automation and controls engineer, I'd really never made a lot of content in this field. And that's because the industry uses a special type of computer called a PLC, or programmable logic controller. And those are typically produced for industry by industrial giants, so the hardware and software can cost thousands of dollars, which makes it really hard for a small YouTube channel to teach about. But then comes the Arduino Opta PLC. Using the same exact programming languages and voltages and concepts as industrial automation and controls, for just a few $100s of hardware and no software licensing costs, now you can fully build and learn automation and controls concepts for thousands of dollars cheaper than you used to be able to. In the last year since I started playing around with the Arduino Opta PLC, I've used it to build a multi-axis, infinite pitch and catch robot controlling linear actuators and stepper motors. I've integrated it with the very popular SCADA platform Ignition for Makers to do even more controls and automation tutorials on that. And most recently, I've been using it to control the DIY standing desk I've been building in my workshop. The Arduino Opta has given me a platform to teach tens of thousands of new people about the world of industrial automation and controls. And it's another example of Arduino doing what Arduino does best, which is introduce a high-quality, affordable, open-source electronics platform to really level the playing field for makers and folks who can't afford thousands of dollars of industrial hardware to start learning. In fact, I've never had a video hit 140,000 views in less than 4 months until I rolled out my Introduction to Automation and Controls course, where I used the Arduino Opta as the platform for teaching a lot of the concepts in this industry. So the eagerness to learn about this industry is very apparent, and thanks to the Arduino Opta PLC, I have a platform where I have introduced tens of thousands of new people to this very cool industry I've spent the last decade of my life working in. I'm super excited to build more projects with the Arduino Opta PLC. I'm very interested to see what Arduino comes up with next, and you can be sure you'll be seeing a lot more Arduino content on the Lemaster Tech social media channel. Happy Arduino Days 2026.
Hello, my name is Zahraa Khalil. I am an engineering instructor and I teach courses covering topics on industrial automation and PLC ladder logic programming. And for many years, I've been using Arduino products in teaching programming like C++, robotics, and now PLC programming in my eLearn courses on Link2Learning or in-person training or workshops. One of the best things I like about Arduino products is how versatile they are. There is a wide range of products that I can use for multiple courses, multiple training, to teach multiple concepts, and I love how affordable they are, which makes them a great choice for me when it comes to teaching and learning programming, robotics, or automation. For example, I can use them in teaching a very simple circuit, or I can use them in more advanced ones like robotics. The same thing for PLC programming. I can use Opta PLC in teaching one of the PLC programming languages, or I can use it in more advanced systems like SCADA or IoT applications. Now, one of the best things I like about Arduino Opta PLC in particular, this is the device that I've been using in my recent projects. I like that it gives learners the opportunity to gain practical and hands-on knowledge in PLC programming, which was not very common before, to actually being able to get a hold of a real physical PLC device and you can just buy and bring home and practice. And in my opinion, I think this actually helps in bridge the gap between learning and real world applications, real industrial applications. Now, at the end, I would love to give a big shout out to the Arduino team for the continuous support, particularly Arduino Opta team, every time I reach out to them. And I also want to give big shout out to the excellent documentation and the high quality resources that they worked on and made it available to everyone, to public.
So unfortunately now we're getting towards the end of today's live stream, but first we want to show you an interesting initiative promoted by our teammates at Qualcomm Academy, where, well, we launched a free 4-hour certification program. Vikram from the Qualcomm team will tell you everything about it in the next video. Then we have a couple of videos that will show our contribution to educators and makerspaces that really make a difference for their communities.
Yes, and the first one features Ilaria Gusella, a primary school teacher who tells us how educational robotics can foster inclusive learning for students with special needs. And she highlights this project through the Arduino Alvik robot. Then you're going to learn about Arduino for Her, a makerspace program designed to help young girls and women develop practical skills in coding, electronics, and physical computing.
Hello everyone, and happy Arduino Days. I'm Vikram Malhotra, and I lead Qualcomm Academy, the technology training initiative of Qualcomm. At Qualcomm Academy, our mission is to give developers like you the skills you need to take your AI projects to the next level. In the spirit of Arduino Days, we are excited to offer you a free and unique AI skill development program where you learn how to build ML models and deploy apps using the Arduino UnoQ. Through our AI Upskilling certificate hands-on development from model to app, will help you with end-to-end AI development workflow through hands-on, interactive, and industry-relevant projects. You'll get to build and deploy real-world AI applications for wake word detection, person recognition, and gesture recognition, giving you practical AI experience. Plus, you will earn a Qualcomm Technologies AI certificate to display on LinkedIn or your CV. This certification is online, self-paced, 3 to 4 hours long, and taught by experienced developers from Qualcomm Technologies. And it's free. Click on the link below to enroll. Also feel free to message us in the chat with any questions you may have. Thank you, and again, happy Arduino Days.
Hello everyone, my name is Ilaria Gusella, I'm 25 years old and I'm from Italy. I'm a primary school teacher who graduated last year from Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore in Milan. My master thesis was about how can robotics make learning more inclusive for students, for children with special needs, like autism or ADHD. The project involved robot Alvik to test how using a robot in the classroom can help children develop important skills, such as cognitive, social, emotional, and relational abilities. The main goal was to open a new possibilities for inclusive learning. I did 2 complementary studies to explore the impact of educational robotics in different learning contexts. The first involved 7 neurodivergent children. Everyone worked individually with their own robot, and the activities were carefully adapted to their specific situation. So the key element of this approach was the personalization. I wanted to show how educational robotics can be flexible, adaptable, and effective in supporting multiple learning needs and classroom environments. The accessibility of robot Alvik was a key factor for me. As a primary school teacher, I don't have experience with robotics tools. But in this case, just the curiosity and the motivation to try something new were enough to run the project. With my project, I also wanted to demonstrate that integrating robotics into the classroom is both feasible and meaningful, even for non-technical educators. With the right tools, Technology can make learning engaging, inclusive, and accessible for everyone. Thank you, Arduino, for the opportunity to explore how the synergy between education and technology can meaningfully transform learning.
Arduino for Her is the makerspace program that helps girls and young women build real-life skills in electronics, coding, and physical computing using Arduino.
It's fun, I've learned a lot. I knew how to code anything with a CC plan as well. I didn't have an idea, but now I can do something.
When I came, I thought maybe I didn't understand, but you guys made it so clear and down to our level, so we really understood the whole lot of things. Thank you.
It provides them access to tools, kits, a safe lab space, and structured lessons that they don't often get. It also builds their confidence through step-by-step hands-on projects that moves them from "I never knew how to do this" to "I can build this."
Before coming, I researched about Arduino and I learned it was a bridge between software and hardware, which is like very interesting. So I wanted to know how it's been done, and when I came, I wasn't disappointed at all. I actually got to know how to bridge coding with our hardware components. Thank you.
You guys met all my expectations and the service was very nice. You guys made me feel very comfortable.
It also supports them beyond the training through mentorships, internships, and certification exams, and also provides them the opportunity to showcase their projects and compete.
The mode of teaching, because like when they say code, your mind is challenged about it, but like when I say everything was step by step. Thank you very much.
At its core, Arduino for Her is about bridging the gender gap in hardware and embedded systems by creating consistent, practical learning routes that turns curiosity into creativity, so girls like you and I can partake in STEM and excel in STEM. Thank you.
So we've arrived at the end of day one of Arduino Days. And I would love to take the chance to remind you guys that you can submit your really cool ideas and with a chance to collaborate with us by emailing creators@arduino.cc. And if you want to stay up to date with everything we're doing, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletters. And you can find that in the footer on our homepage at arduino.cc. And of course, don't forget to hit the follow on our social media.
And also, don't forget about the promos, folks. On the Arduino store, up to 25% off many boards and kits. Grab an Arduino Uno Q and get a free Modulino of your choice. You also saw a lot today about the mighty VENTUNO Q, so make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming updates. We're gonna talk a lot about it, so sign up at the link below. And as you said, Auri, today is over, but don't be sad. Tomorrow is gonna be amazing. We will show many cool community projects, content creators, educators, and student projects. Also, Massimo Banzi will join us. So it's going to be big, you're gonna love it, you can't miss it.
See you soon.
Ciao.